Hi everyone, how are you? I am getting ready for bed, so I'm just on here being consistent. And I saw an article that was very interesting. It is talking about law school. So there's this fight going on with the law schools on whether they should get rid of this LSAT or not. As you know, the LSAT is an exam that you have to pass to get admitted to law school. So the fight is getting rid of this LSAT for admission into law school. So the American Bar Association, they have voted to end this LSAT requirement, which will go into effect in the year 2025. So if you desire to be a lawyer or you have children who desire to be lawyers, they would not need to take the LSAT, but you have to wait till the year 2025. However, this is not fully enforced because this back and forward fight is still going on. So it is not finalized. This may happen and it may not happen. So this issue is going before the American Bar Association's House of Delegates in February for final approval. So far, it's still a fight going on and it's not in final approval yet. So we will see if it's approved or not. It has been objected by 60 law school deans. So 60 law school deans are against it. They say that it can harm diversity. Getting rid of the LSAT could harm diversity. That is their position. So currently with the law schools, they have a requirement that 75% of the students need to pass the bar exam. So this is to make the school look good, of course. So the more people that pass, the better the school looks and the more prestigious that the school is. So the requirement is that 75% of students pass the bar exam. In November of 2021, they added the GRE as an acceptable alternative to the LSAT. So as of November 2021, if you had a good score on the GRE, they would take that instead of the LSAT for admission into law school. This is as of November 2021. So this matter is going before the Legal Education Council, the American Bar Association House of Delegates, the American Bar Association House of Delegates in February, and then the Legal Education Council. They will have the final say on this matter. So the issue at hand is diversity. So, on one hand, the people who are for getting rid of the LSAT are saying that the LSAT is a roadblock to diversity. Then, on the other hand, you have people who are against getting rid of the LSAT, and they say that the LSAT is an equalizer, that it helps the underprivileged get into law school. So if everything goes into effect that they get rid of the LSAT by the year 2025, what they will be doing is leaning more towards high GPA scores, good recommendations, and coming from a prestigious undergraduate university. So the deans are saying that these three requirements would hurt chances of diversity: the good GPA, the good recommendations, and coming from a prestigious university. So there's this back and forth battle on, do we keep the LSAT or do we get rid of the LSAT? So I'm going to read this to you. It is from the American Bar Association. It's Lawyers by Race and Ethnicity. Because if you're not aware that there is a problem with admission to schools, I would like you to become aware that there is a problem. As you know, race and discrimination, it hits all segments from the housing market to health access to um, working on the job, getting promotions, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, any area that you can think of, discrimination is there. So now we're talking about admission into school, and we're talking about admission into law school here specifically. So I'm going to read this to you from the American Bar Association because if you're not aware that there is a problem, I'm going to make you aware now. This is for people who like to say that minorities like to play the race card. I want you to know that this stuff is real. This is this is how we live. And you don't have to have these types of experiences. So you may be unaware and you may be thinking that we're playing a card, but I want you to know that this stuff is real. So I'm going to read this to you. In 2020, 86% of all lawyers were non Hispanic whites, a decline from 89% a decade ago. So, did you hear what I said? I said in 2020, 86% of all lawyers were non Hispanic whites. I said 86% of all lawyers were non Hispanic whites. Now, does that sound like a problem to you? 86% of one race, 86% of one race is lawyers. I want you to see, just listen. By comparison, um, nearly all people of color are underrepresented in the legal profession compared with their presence in the US population. Nearly all people of color are underrepresented in the legal profession compared with their presence in the US population. One more time. Nearly all people of color are underrepresented in the legal profession compared with their presence in the United States population. For example, 5% of all lawyers are African American. This is for people who think that minorities play a race card. I want you to know that this stuff is real. So this is the fight that is going on between, do we keep the LSAT? Do we get rid of the LSAT? So I just think it's interesting that there even is a fight, that people's eyes are open, that there's a problem. I just think it's interesting that there even is a fight here. So do we keep the LSAT? Do we get rid of the LSAT? Now, Kaplan has weighed in. As you know, Kaplan is the one that is making all of this money from people that go to Kaplan and they pay Kaplan a huge amount of money, like $1,000, $2,000, for them to get stacks of books that they can study to pass the LSAT. So you know Kaplan is a preparation place for you to pass exams to get admitted to the different schools. The LSAT, the MCAT, the GRE, any other test. That's what Kaplan does. It's a test preparation. So they did a survey of 82 law schools. And according to this survey, the majority of law schools plan to keep the LSAT, no matter even if the American Bar Association decides that it's no longer a requirement. So even if the American Bar Association comes to the conclusion that the LSAT is no longer a requirement, the majority of these law schools that they surveyed have told Kaplan that they are going to keep this Lsat requirement. So this is a very interesting fight, and I think that is interesting that there even is a fight, that people can see that there is a problem here. So I just thought that I would bring that to your attention because this is the Love and Money show, and there is a roadblock to higher education, whether you want to admit it or not. So this is the Love and Money show. If you like the show, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And you're subscribing for business ideals. I bring people onto the show and they discuss their businesses that they're successful at. So hit subscribe for the business ideals and the notification bell next to it so that you won't miss the episode. Also, I am holding a Black Friday sale for my stock class. This is a Black Friday sale. You can DM me or you can email me. My email is info@elevationmentor.com. If you are interested in getting in on this stock class, one of the components of the stock class I will be discussing is what is the stock market. So we go into all these definitions and terms. This is for people who are not familiar with the stock market. For example, what is a Dow? What is the Nasdaq? What is the S&P 500? We go into what is the stock market. That is one component of the class. There are several components. If you're interested, DM me or email me and I will send you the discount code. This is the Love and Money Show. Thank you for watching and have a good rest of your night.